Raquel couldn't make it tonight.
Okay.
All righty. Well, hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Business Breakthrough. And this is the third Monday of the month. And what that means is we bring a special guest in to help you to see an opportunity. And tonight I have Dr. Carol Bartholomew sitting right next to me here on the screen anyway. We're about probably 1,500 miles apart, but looks like you're right next door, Carol. Welcome to Business Breakthrough tonight.
Thank you, Dave. Glad to be here.
So Dr. Carol and I go back a number of years. And before I get too much into that, let me just say welcome to all of you that are here tonight for the very first time. We always have a few new people, and I want to welcome you and give you a little bit of an idea of what we do here with Dave Martin Ministries Business Breakthrough. And essentially, gosh, it's hard to believe it's been 27 years, Dr. Carol, but 27 years ago, in a time of seeking God, I asked him about the wealth of the wicked. And he showed me that one of the keys to the wealth of the wicked was business, and how he was positioning people into places of opportunity in business to make money. And one thing about being in business is that you have the opportunity to have increased sales, increased profits, and you're not limited as somebody working in a 9-to-5 job type thing. Not that that's a major limiting factor, because God is able to bless those people in profound ways as too. But what he said to me is he was specifically positioning people into places of opportunity to make great sums of money. And it was like they were anointed to do that. And because he was raising people up to fund the kingdom. And when you have a heart to fund the kingdom, it's amazing what God will do in coming alongside of you to make doors, open doors, create a path for you, and bless what you put your hand to. But he also showed me that as much as he was working for you, the adversary was working against you. And the devil is a good devil in terms of being good at what he does and stealing, killing, and destroying. So what the devil tries to do is stop what God's doing. And without getting into great detail tonight, what God showed me is the way we stop the devil is prayer. And we just finished actually the second week of the month is always what we do. Our second Monday, we have a time of teaching people how to operate their business in the supernatural, followed by everyone fills a prayer form in. And over the course of this week now, we've been putting people together in groups of 3 that make a covenant agreement to pray for each other 2 minutes a day for the next 30 days. And 27 years of doing this, it's been amazing watching God help people be successful in business. We've seen many multi-million dollar companies start from scratch. And so anyway, what God showed me going back last summer, he said to take this ministry, which typically we do on site wherever I travel around the world, but to develop it into a global, weekly, or monthly as it would be, ministry. So starting last August, we launched Business Breakthrough Global. And very basically in the first Monday of every month, we have an introduction and orientation where we kind of overview what we do, and we bring in guests. And Dr. Carol is our guest here a couple of weeks ago, talking a little bit about what she's going to talk about tonight. And then second Monday, we talk about the idea of prayer and stuff like that. And we're just finishing up now, putting all those groups together. And then in week 3, we have what we're doing tonight called Business Opportunity Night, where people come in and share a business idea, business opportunity for people that don't have a business. Now, tonight is a little bit different because not only is it a business opportunity, but Dr. Carol is working with a technology that, every person in the world probably would like to have it, because of what it can do in healing. And Dr. Carol's going to tell us all about that tonight. So anyway, I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Carol here in just a minute. But to again, welcome those of you that are here for the first time, and then also kind of give you insight here next Monday, which is our fourth Monday. Sounds like a dog in the background there, Dr. Carol.
Oh, we took her off the Bemer machine. Now she's barking.
She wants the Bemer. She was scratching on the Bemer a few minutes ago. Yes. But anyway, next Monday night, our fourth Monday of the month, is when we bring somebody in to teach. We get some ideas and suggestions on how to improve your skills in your business, how to work more efficiently, or different concepts. Now, next Monday night, we have one of the leading trainers in America with Zig Ziglar coming and going to be spending an hour with us, helping us with some ideas. Charlotte Anderson, who I've also known for a number of years. But anyway, she's going to be our guest next Monday night. So enough introduction here. So Dr. Carol, you and I go back a number of years. We met in, was it Ocala, Florida at a retreat, right?
Correct. Yes, it was actually deep in the forest.
That's right.
Ocala National Forest. Exactly. Yes.
So, anyway, go ahead.
We were at a retreat in the forest, which we were both studying quantum physics at the time, if you'll remember.
Yes.
Dear to our heart.
Yes. Well, I love studying the unseen world. For those of you that are a guest tonight, 40 years ago, God put it in my heart to understand miracles. How do miracles happen? So I've been doing that for 40 years, but I've recognized, as Carol mentioned, quantum physics, that the quantum world very much parallels the spiritual world. And they're not the same, but there's a lot of close parallels. And so anyway, with what Dr. Carol is working with this technology in Bemer, it gets me very excited because it's all about frequencies.
Mm-hmm.
So Carol, Dr. Yes. Carol, excuse me, tell everybody here a little bit about you and your background. I'm going to give you the whole screen there. Now you might want to maybe let your dog back into the room because
he's too loud, right?
Yeah, it's coming through on this end pretty loud.
I apologize.
So
yeah, okay. She wants back on the Bemer.
Yeah, well, I think it'd be better to have her on the Bemer than knocking on the door. But it's amazing with technology how it amplifies sound. So when you're on Dr. Carol's end, what sounds like a little scratch sounds like somebody's breaking down the door at this end.
Oh my gosh! There we go.
All righty. All right.
Yes.
So, Dr. Carol, I'm going to give you a full screen here. And okay. I'll come back and forth, ask you a question here and there along the way. But what I'd like you to do is give people a little bit of an idea, again, about who you are, where you're coming from, and the technology that you're working with. So it's all yours.
Okay. I'm Dr. Carol Bartholomew, as he introduced me. And I've been in practice 38 years in Ocala, Florida. And I love it here. Good weather. We have 70 degrees out there today, for those of you that don't. And I've been with the Bemer now for 2.5 years. It was introduced to me by a friend, and that's the best way to find out about the Bemer, is to be introduced by a friend. And the Bemer technology is just getting started in the United States. You might wonder why. Why haven't we heard about it? Because it's been around for 20 years. Over 40 countries in the world use Bemer. And Bemer is found in Germany in most of the hospitals. Bemer is found in most of the ambulances. Bemer is well recognized at a university level. There are over 40, closer to 60 research papers done at university levels, which prove that Bemer's efficacy is fabulous. It does wonderful things. And in the United States, I suppose it's just a late starter. There are probably forces that kept it out for a long time, but it can't keep it out any longer.
Amen.
And then Canada is coming in April. Canada will be a brand new country, virgin country with Bemer in April. and Mexico. Those are really big countries, and they are just starting in BEMER. It's a breakthrough territory, and now is the time to get into BEMER. What is BEMER? BEMER is a PEMF therapy, pulsed electrical magnetic force. The inventor of BEMER 20 years ago in Germany was at the Max Planck Institute. For those of you that don't know, that's one of the highest group of intelligent men on the planet. And he invented the BEMER. He found out that the frequency of the earth, and the earth has a pulsation. It's like we have a heartbeat. The earth has a heartbeat. It's a very slow and very low frequency heartbeat. But without it, we cannot exist. And it's been proven now that without it, the astronauts have proved this. You have early degeneration. You have degeneration of the muscles. You have degeneration of the arteries. You have degeneration of the bones. You age much more quickly. So with the enhancement of this frequency, and that's what BEMER does, is enhance it. It takes it 20,000 frequencies per second. It enhances it. And there are 5 international patents. Nobody's going to be taking BEMER away from us. It's solid. It's here. And nobody can challenge it. In fact, one of the pharmaceutical companies tried to buy out BEMER for millions and billions of dollars, and they won't sell BEMER because it's their understanding, it's their heart's desire that BEMER be given to the world, person to person, and not get caught up in the big powers of the world. And it's been very, very successful that way. So the PEMF device, the BEMER device, again, is a frequency device. Everything is frequency. The chairs are frequency. We are frequency. The sun is frequency. So it depends on what degree of frequency we're working with. This is a very low frequency. It does not interfere with any device that people have, like pacemakers, implants, anything that a patient might come in with. The frequency is so low and so gentle that it does not interfere with that. So there are really no contraindications to BEMER, except if you have immune suppressed conditions, such as a liver that was taken out and you have to suppress your immune system. But other than that, the one beautiful thing about BEMER is that there are no side effects. You may have some detox, which is a growth effect, but there are no negative side effects to BEMER. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that marvelous? Amazing. That's one of the characteristics. And the other characteristic when discovering BEMER is that there are no drugs involved. It's a drugless, natural treatment. And boy, do we need that on this planet, because our country right now is in a crisis. It's called the opioid crisis. And BEMER is the answer to the opioid crisis, to take people off of the painkillers, solve their pain with frequency, and let them be set free of these addictive things.
Dr. Carol, pausing you a second there. What you just said is so incredible, and I didn't know that. I mean, it's been amazing to me, and I suggested to people in the email I sent out today to type in Bemer Testimonies. And when you showed it to me a couple of years ago, and I just did it again today as a check, and it is amazing how many testimonies. But I've not put that together, what you just said about removing pain. I guess that's pretty obvious, but you know, Bemer has this record of seeing people get supernaturally, well, not supernaturally, seeing people healed. Maybe it is somewhat supernatural, but if somebody's on pain medication, would it actually eliminate their need for that?
Well, Dave, we can't make any claims, and I really should start out with not having any, disclaimer. It's official. I'm not making any claims. I'm not making any medical claims. The AMA has not gone through and looked at my testimony. And this, if you have a problem, you should in the United States be under the guidance of a medical doctor, because we know that if you go and tell the medical doctor about Bemer, he will, maybe pay attention. That's what we need.
Yes.
Yes, the testimonies. We can get into testimonies. Right in our office, I'm going to tell you that I have observed, coincidentally, along with people doing Bemer, so I'm making no claims, I have seen people with black legs from poor circulation disappear before my very eyes. That one is almost a guarantee. I have seen people with pain that laid down on the table and got up without any pain. We have an artist out in the forest office, and she had pain in her thumb for since 1991, and she did one treatment and the pain went away.
Wow.
Not everybody's pain goes away in one treatment. Hers did. It's very real. And a number of people it does, but not everybody. Some people it takes longer because it's a chronic condition. But the things I've seen disappear coincidentally while they're using Bemer is diabetes. I've seen that clear up. Macular degeneration, which used to be thought of as incurable.
Mm-hmm.
Now we can see, and there are eye doctors that have proved how macular degeneration responds to the Bemer influence. Glaucoma, eye degeneration, because eyes are full of capillaries. Do you know that the capillaries inside of our body would cover a football field 2 times? Or if you put them together end to end, I'm going to slow down so you can really pay attention. If you put all the capillaries in your body together end to end, they would go around the earth 2.5 times.
Wow.
So you might think that our heart pumps that. Our heart does not pump that. Our heart provides an initial pump, an initial thrust, but inside of our arteries are muscles. Those muscles contract and undulate, and they cause the blood to move. And without that undulation, we get very poor circulation, and that begins to happen even in our 20s. So we need that extra pulsation. For people that are older, it pulses about once every 10 minutes. For people that are younger, it pulses 10 times a minute. So that's a big difference in the ability to get blood to our extremities, to our cells. Now, let's get a little bit more in detail with Bemer. Bemer increases the circulation at the capillary level. That's called the study of microcirculation. If you get blood to go more quickly, more easily, and charged well with a charge around the cell through the capillaries, it'll pop off the oxygen, pull on the carbon dioxide, and excrete the waste products and distribute the nutrition at the cellular level. So it's like super feeding and oxygenating at the cellular level. That's what Bemer does. Can we see that video, David?
Which one do you want to show?
I'd like to show the one where the blood is flowing in the beginning, a normal person's blood flow. After 8 minutes, a Bemer blood flow.
Okay, so is that one unlocking of the blood vessels?
No, it'd be the other one.
And the other one. Okay, here we go. All right.
Very good. Let me explain what you just saw. That was before treatment, during treatment, and after treatment. In the beginning, you could see that the blood was flowing very slowly, really clogged. That's typical of what you and I look like without the Bemer. After 8 minutes of Bemer, did you see how quickly the blood cells were flowing through and making available oxygen, nutrition, and carrying off waste products at the cellular level? That's the key. I was really impressed with Bemer when I found out that the drug, as good as the drug companies are, they cannot affect the capillary level. They cannot affect it with drugs. Only the Bemer can affect at the capillary level. So this is why we need Bemer so much. The other drugs are not going to change. They're not going to help this effect that the Bemer provides. Okay.
Dr. Carroll, why is that they can't?
Because there is no muscle level. It is only a membrane. And however the cell shoots through, it's completely independent. Drugs will not change the permeability of the membrane.
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Fascinating stuff, Dr. Carroll.
I love it. I love the Bemer. I think it's one of the most wonderful things, if not the most wonderful invention given to man that can be given person to person. Yes. So what kind of, do you want to go into the kinds of things more of the kinds of things that Bemer I've seen changes with?
Whatever is going to best help people to understand what the Bemer does and how it does it, basically giving a little bit of an idea on that. But then we want to make sure we leave enough time to let people understand, if they're interested in this, how they could become part of it, to enjoy the Bemer themselves. And then what's most important for tonight is people that are interested in looking at this as a business opportunity.
Exactly. But before we go on, let's talk about how it became popular in the United States. The head of the NASA medical team found the Bemer from just a kid that shared it with her. And he didn't know her and she didn't know him. And he shared it with her. She got a hold of the Bemer, and she was working with other PMF devices. But when she got a hold of the Bemer, she understood that this was the best thing on the planet. So they made a pact with Bemer, and there's a written agreement that Bemer is to make and develop underwear, which they already have, so that now every astronaut that goes into space wears Bemer underwear. That's a great one. It's true.
Now, why underwear? I mean, why not outerwear? I mean,
I don't know. That was between them and Bemer. I don't know.
Okay.
Yes, and let's talk about the bicycle people.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it's good for athletes. The Olympic people are jumping on it. In the horse people, I'm in horse country, Ocala, Florida. The horse people are jumping on it because it's going to be the cutting edge. Without Bemer, the people are not going to have that cutting edge in these races, in these competitions. In the bike race, the most grueling bike race in the world for bicyclists, they're familiar with this. I wasn't, but they are. The most grueling race goes from California, and there's 8 men. They travel across the United States without stopping, just passing off from one to the next, and they end up in Maryland. And Bemer sponsored 2 years ago. And it's a good question. I'm going to pause here for a second. How long do you think it takes a bicycle team to travel from the Pacific to the Atlantic coast?
I'm going to guess 6 days.
Well, that's a pretty good guess. It took 4.5 days.
But I hang on a second here. The reason that, I got excited about Dr. Carroll sharing this is 2 years ago when Dr. Carroll told me about this, and when it was just coming in, at that point to America. There was a seminar in Ocala, Florida that I really wanted to get to if I couldn't, but I was able to watch part of it, at least by half of it, online. And they did this biography story of this team of people, and it's fascinating to watch because there's a lot of teams that compete in this race. And I'll let you tell the story, but I'm telling you what, this is proof positive how well it works.
Yes, they won the race 2 years ago, and then they went back again this year, and they won it and beat their own time this year.
Phew.
So the first year they only had 4 men. They were understaffed. This year they had 8 men, and they beat their own record. So they're still the world champions, the Bemer people.
So the reason why they're, Carol, how is it, or why is it that they're just breaking the records and they're able to do this? Is it because of more energy, more stamina? Or what would be the backside of the story? Yeah.
The key, David, is that when you are an athlete, you burn oxygen. When your oxygen runs out, you burn. You go in through the anabolic respiration, and that's why you hurt, because there's lactic acid buildup. With the Bemer, it's like the blue flame. There's no lack of oxygen. So you're burning pure oxygen, and you don't go into the anabolic respiration, and you just have a tremendous amount of more pure energy.
All right. Over my head a little bit, but I like the results.
Uh-huh. Yes. Okay. So how are we doing on time, David? Should I go into the
You were halfway through, Dr. Carol.
Oh,
so
okay.
You got a half hour yet.
Okay, sure. We've got plenty of time. I use Bemer with my acupuncture patients. And one of the proofs that Bemer really works is because when I do acupuncture, it usually takes 45 minutes to an hour. When I use Bemer, it takes half that time. And what it's doing is stimulating the acupuncture energy. Another thing I love about Bemer is that...
Dr. Carol, I hate to pause you here, but I had one of my partners 25-year partner, call me last week and ask me what I thought about acupuncture. And the reason being is she was concerned that it was a new age thing, and she had heard that Christians should not expose themselves to that. So can you just address that for a minute to help people to understand it's not weird or new age?
Sure, Dave. I had that same concern, and I prayed a lot and asked God whether or not I should do acupuncture. And when I got to class, the teacher turned around and said, "How many people can feel acupuncture points?" I raised my hand because, of course, I could feel it. I thought everybody could. Only 3 out of 55 of us can feel acupuncture points. And
what does that mean? I don't know what that means.
That means I could feel the energy of the acupuncture energy. It's an energy, and it gets blocked. And that's one of the main causes of pain, is blocked energy. And our energy flows through our body. It's a normal, natural thing. If you go to China, if you go to Japan, if you go to the Mideast, they talk about that energy as commonly as we talk about Bayer aspirin. We're just with our head in the ground here.
Yes,
it's a normal thing. Now, if you get some weirdo that wants to play Buddhist music, and I didn't mean that to insult people, but I'm just saying, and he wants to chant all the time and influence you spiritually, that may be something you want to steer away from if you are a Christian. But acupuncture itself is nothing more than clearing the energy in the auric system, in the system which is your energetic system, in the meridians. Meridians are channels of energy that go through your body. It's nothing to be afraid of.
Okay. Now, the Bemer has nothing to do with acupuncture, but that's just part of what you do in your practice, correct?
Correct. And what I was saying is one of the things it proves is that it helps to clear the body of blockages. And the acupuncture is just one example of that,
Oh,
how
I
it
see.
clears the body from blockages. And one of the things that's the result is it takes pain away. Pain, we don't understand that in the West. Pain really, most of the time, is a blockage of energy in our body.
Amazing stuff, Dr. Carol.
I like to talk about it a lot.
Okay.
Okay. So, who would need the Bemer? People that are stressed need the Bemer. Um, People that have cardiovascular problems, it's been proven that the Bemer can reduce cardiovascular problems. People that are pregnant, all over the world, people that are pregnant can use the Bemer. And like I said, in Germany, where they're on the forefront, they use it in their maternity wards and in the preemie wards because it replaces the chemistry that's needed in the preemies, and they have a much higher life rate rather than a death rate over there. I have a baby that we call her the Bemer baby. When she was more alert, she was stronger, she was happier, she was more content. And there's others that have had Bemer babies. They've been treated while uh, they're pregnant, and they did an experiment. One lady who had a Bemer baby, they went and looked at the placenta. The placenta beat for 3 days. It's only going to beat usually for 10 or 12 minutes in a normal person. But in this particular person, it beat for 3 days. They got all the doctors together, and the doctors couldn't believe it. The stem cells were higher. The red blood cells were more filled with oxygen, and the baby was happy and healthy.
So a Bemer baby is somebody that a mother is getting treatment during pregnancy.
Correct. It's a Bemer baby.
Okay. So tell people, what does a treatment look like? And
That's why I have this. This is a Bemer belt. This is not the main piece of equipment, but this is a Bemer belt. It's one of 3 main pieces of equipment. Can you see this pretty well?
yes, that's good, Dr. Carol.
Okay. This is the Bemer brain. This is what you program. There's a mat that you lay on, and the mat can be used on a massage table. It can be used on a chair or lounge chair. It can be used just wrapping it around someone. My aunt has to have it wrapped around her. You program the machine, and it's only 8 minutes in the morning and 8 minutes at night. And it relaxes you at night so you can go to sleep. There's also a very special sleep program that's been developed with Bemer. And it's been found that you don't recover and regenerate unless you go into REM sleep. So this can be used at night to sleep and to relax and to regenerate your cells.
Dr. Carol, you've used the word a couple of times. This is what you program. There's probably some people that might think I'm not a programmer. What's involved in programming?
We have people that are 80 years old that can program. It's a very simple program. You just press the button, and then you press one setting for the belt or the spot. This is called the spot. It's for very specific areas, like doing the eyes or doing a broken wrist or an injury. And the Bemer pad is just another little place in the computer. It's so simple. It's really not difficult at all to run the Bemer.
Dr. Carol, we have one question's come up in chat here. And if anybody else has a question, if you put your questions in the chat, I'll relay them to Dr. Carol as we go along here. Mike, though, is asking, he says, is the Bemer a machine or a treatment?
Oh, okay. The
And
Bemer.
then we have one, tie this into it. Glenn's asking, so how do you use the product?
Okay. The Bemer is a device. It allows us to give sessions of Bemer. They ask us not to say treatment because people at home that are able to use this in the in their own home or able to use it on the general public. And that's okay to do that. You wouldn't call it a treatment, you'd call it a session. So a session is just when you lay on it for 8 minutes in the morning, 8 minutes at night, and you may want to use these extra pieces if you have a specific problem that you want to address.
So something you said there, just clarifying it, you don't need to be a doctor. Anybody could offer a session or participate in a session for themselves or their family, but you could also, as a business opportunity, if people knew that you had the Bemer, you could offer them opportunity to come to your house and receive a session as well, correct?
That is correct. That's correct.
So,
and it's used at spas. It's used among friends. I know the whole Amish community up and they don't even use electricity. But one of our upline uses the Amish. The Amish people use the Bemer.
How does it run without electricity?
Well, they make an exception because it's such a good thing. That's what I heard.
All righty. Well, Mike, Glenn, if that answers the question, great. If not, make a point here on chat and we'll come back at it another way. So go ahead, Dr. Carroll. So a treatment, a session. We're using session to avoid any kind of a medical scenario.
Right, that it requires any kind of you will get an education if you're going to be using a Bemer as a distributor. If you're going to be using it on other people, you would take classes to learn how to do the Bemer.
And what do those classes look like?
There are 2 days in a row of the most wonderful classes where you hear the testimonials of 200 other people and you learn everything that there is to know about the Bemer, and you learn it well. Because there's integrity in this company.
And those classes are being offered all over the country?
Yes, they are.
And how often?
They are. At least once a month in 2 or 3 places around the country. Every month there's places you can go to.
And Charles is now asking what kind of price are we looking at for this product?
Okay.
Or distributorship.
Okay. The Bemer sells for $6,000. The Bemer distributor, if you wanted to become a distributor in the beginning, it's $6,390 plus tax. The tax will vary depending on whatever state you're in. And there's also financing available for the Bemer, so it would be around $200 a month. So some people think, well, that's a lot of money. I've heard that a lot when people say, well, that's quite a bit of money. But when you think about it, I charge at my office $25 per session or 10 sessions for $200. If you have a family at home of 5 and they're doing it twice a day, that's 10 sessions, or you are literally getting $200 worth of treatment every day. Times 30 days, that's $6,000 worth of treatment a month. It's well worth buying it.
So from a business perspective, basically, most people are going to go into this with the idea of selling the Bemer to people as opposed to selling sessions, or am I wrong?
No, they will be selling it, but they will also be demonstrating it to their friends. If a person becomes a distributor, he's going to have one of these for himself. And when he gets well from this and that and all kinds of things, he's going to have a testimony which he's going to share with a lot of different people. With that testimony, he can begin anywhere. We had one lady who did it in the back of a trunk of a car, and she became a very high distributor in Bemer. Didn't take her long. It took her about 6 months, and she went right up to the top.
Now, what do you mean by the trunk of the car? I mean,
she would just pull it out at the trunk of she'd pull it out of the trunk of her car. She'd go to spas. She'd go to health clubs. She'd go to parks. She would go to different places where she was just, a simple kind of girl. And she would say, I would like for you to see this. Would you be willing to have a demonstration? And
Okay.
people would experience it. There's also your churches have groups, and your church could invite you in. The old folks communities will invite you in. There are so many doors that are open to demonstrating Bemer. And then when you have distributors under you, they'll go and they'll share, and you'll be able to benefit from them too.
So from a business model, you're going to make money by selling distributorships to other people. One of the questions that came up here from Charles, excuse me, is it multi-level? So if I bring in Sally as a distributor, then Sally brings in John. Do I get downline commissions?
Well, from that perspective, yes, you do get downline commissions. Well, from what I've heard, so do insurance people, and they don't consider that multi-level. So people that love multi-level, yes, it's got multi-level benefits. People that don't like multi-level, it's got other benefits.
Yeah, well, in my opinion, there's nothing wrong. Matter of fact, and you probably know this, but the most successful companies today that have unique products, they go for the multi-level distribution plan because it's so much more effective. I mean, I think it used to be many years ago, it was kind of like a bad word. But I think more and more today, people are understanding it is a very viable distribution technique.
Mm-hmm. I need to tell you this, Dave. Bemer is not sold. People don't really sell Bemers. They share Bemers, and people want them. And that's what I love about it. They want them. It clicks inside. There's something inside of them that they know that they know. And those are the people that are going to buy your Bemers, and they're the ones that are going to run with it.
Well, I can say this, Dr. Carol, from knowing you for how many years now? Many years, 10 years maybe. You are not a salesperson.
Thank you, Dave. That's okay. I'm a share person when I found something good.
Right. But it's working very well for you. Now, you mentioned this last time, but the average person that wants to get healthy, they're going to do a treatment or two a day, correct?
Correct.
Ideally, didn't you say one treatment lasts for 10 hours or so?
12 hours.
12 hours. Mm-hmm. So ideally, if your goal is good health, get up in the morning and do it. Before you go to bed, do it again.
Exactly. If you have your own Bemer, you can do that. And that's the ideal way. It keeps your oxygen level up 27%.
Awesome.
You can't shake a stick at that.
and just again, we still have 15 minutes left, but I can see a business model here for somebody. They might say, they can't afford it. But again, with financing, $200 a month makes it more affordable. But if you let people know that you have this, they can do like you do and offer their neighbors and friends and family opportunity to come over and pay a fee to help pay for it.
Exactly.
And it wouldn't take too many customers, as you might say, you charge $25 a session.
Yes. And the going rate is between 35 and 40. But as usual, I try to share, so yes. I give it at 25.
So, but 10 customers per month, and you have your unit for free, you might say.
Yes, that. And if you sell, you only need to sell 5 Bemers, and you've paid for your own.
So, okay, so that's another good question. So from a marketing model or distributor model, it's going to cost $6,000 to buy your first unit. And then you use that unit for your own health and for demonstration purposes. And if you're using it for demonstration purposes, that means you can write it off as a expense, which that means a lot to people from a tax perspective. But then you don't have to have an inventory of these, right? You just have your sales model as it would be.
Exactly.
Somebody buys it, they buy it from the company, and they ship it to them, and but you make a
Mhm.
percentage on each one that's sold.
Correct.
And then some of those people are going to say, hey, I know 10 people that are going to want this as well. So then they become a distributor. So they buy one and then they start selling other people, and you make money on them too.
That's correct. In the beginning, you make money 2 people deep, and it's very generous. You start out making $1,000 commission per device that you sell. Then once you've reached 4 of them and you've gone to the 5th sale, you then get approximately $1,500 per unit. That's phenomenal. And then you start to get commissions on other people. So you're going to get $400 commissions. You're going to get I've forgotten the number, but they're going to get commissions 2 deep. So other people are going to be working for you.
Well, as I said, Dr. Carol, you're not a salesperson, but you sell a lot of units because people are buying them.
That's right. And that's what's so nice about this. The people that I get in, they're like me. They don't even look at what they're making. It just happens, you know?
Yes.
And other people, boy, those people that get into it and are very successful and want to go into it on the corporate level or the higher level, they make millions.
I can see where that's certainly a possibility. I mean, you have something that is so proven for testimony of people getting healed and more energy. I mean, gosh, that's pretty awesome.
Right. It reduces stress. You get more energy. You feel more relaxed. You have a lifestyle. You have a whole business for $6,000. You're getting well. Your family's getting well. What more could you ask for?
There you go. All righty. Well, anyone else? We got about 10 minutes left here yet. Anyone else have any questions you'd like to ask Dr. Carol? Just put them up here in the chat window. And somebody says, how do I get started? And what do we tell them, Dr. Carol?
Okay. The best way to get started is to go online, do some research. And I need to emphasize this, Dave. Tell them to go on YouTube. Look up BEMER on YouTube. So put in YouTube, BEMER, and then there's Compare. There's the bike race. There's a couple other names I'd like for you to look up. One of them is Ann Bernard, and another one is Malik, Malik. They will give you wonderful summaries of what the BEMER will do, a lot more than we've been able to talk about tonight.
Yes.
And then go on Dr. Carol, that's DrCarol, BemerGroup.com. That will show you what the devices that are available are. That's my personal website, drcarol.bemergroup.com. The thing about that is you have to put it into the top browser. Don't try to Google it. Don't try to Google anything with BEMER. There are pirates and there are fake people that have taken over and taken the leads for BEMER and sold inferior devices. I'm sorry to say, but they're out there. And don't compare them to BEMER, even though there have been professional comparisons done. And we could show those to you if you want to, but they are using rather lower than ethical ways of getting their customers. So always go to YouTube, BEMER, and then look up eyes, look up anything that you want to look up, testimonies, and you'll get just wonderful advice. How to run a BEMER, how to make money with a BEMER. What is the BEMER devices technicalities, and all that is available. All of it's available.
I was amazed, Dr. Carol. Now, I did what you told me not to do, though, but I did a Google thing on Bemer Testimonies, but I spent 4 hours one day. I mean, this was 2 years ago. Just, I was so intrigued because it was this testimony after testimony after testimony after testimony of people's experience with the Bemer.
Yeah, it's real. It's real. Miracles. We would call them miracles because they're super science.
All righty.
Yes.
All righty. Well, we have about 8 minutes left. Anything you want to say here before we wrap it up for
Yes.
tonight?
I wanted to tell you a couple things. Some of the exciting things about Bemer are that Bemer is now being used in conjunction with stem cell research. It's being done right here in Florida. Stem cell research is enhanced by Bemer treatments. And like I said, with my acupuncture, it's enhanced with Bemer treatments. And if you want to go on pubmed.gov, you'll see all of the Bemer research that's been done all over the world and how it is a very integritous device.
So what would you add pub, was it medpub.gov?
PubMed. That's where all university level publications are captured. PubMed.gov.
And what would they type in there? Bemer Technology or
Yes,
Bemer
just type
Research?
in Bemer. Bemer.
Okay.
You'll see it from all over the world. There are universities, and now there's 3 or 4 universities in the United States that have gotten a hold of it. So it's going to really, I told you on a conversation earlier, this company was 1,000% growth last year. It grew 1,000%. And they're just opening up Canada. So it's just on the edge, just on the very beginning.
That's where you want to join the company at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Now, something else, and you didn't mention tonight, but they were doing a lot with horses.
Yes, okay. Let me show you this picture. Okay, Bemer is now being used for horses, especially in horse racing and in show horses. And Bemer is being used by the vets. We had a patient come in today, and he said, should I use the Bemer? We said, how do you know about the Bemer? He goes, oh, well, my horse trainer, the one that owns the farm, just bought 5 of them.
Wow.
And I happen to know they're in my downline, so I happen to know what happened. So, yes, in the horse industry, it's a great open field because everybody's going to need the Bemer to keep up with everyone else.
So, same thing with the horse. They do 2 treatments a day.
They can do 2 treatments a day. For the horse, where they really need it is when they've been traveling and they get to the track and they're all wound up and they see the other horses. It calms them right down. They start to chew their cud and relax. So people that know horses will testify that the Bemer is a wonderful device. And they're coming out with an animal Bemer, but they don't need to. The animals, like my dog, just love to sleep on the regular Bemer.
We saw that earlier. He was there laying on it. So you mentioned before there's different pieces of equipment. You got the mat you lay on or sit on the chair.
Which is right there.
The belt.
Yes, which is right here.
And how would you use the belt, or why would you use that instead of the mat?
The mat you would only use twice a day, but let's say that you sprained your wrist or your elbow. You would wrap the belt around it, and you could do it up to 2 hours, every 2 hours. And that takes down inflammation, takes down swelling, and takes down pain. It speeds up recovery quickly. I had 3 broken toes, and if anybody has had broken toes, they'll know you couldn't walk on 3 broken toes. There's no way. I got it at 3 a.m. I put the Bemer on it that night. The next morning, I walked on it. 3 days later, the whole end of my foot was black. It was gone.
Wow.
Yes. And I had a broken kneecap. That healed up so quickly, I never missed a day of work. I would live without my Bemer, and you find everybody that has a Bemer will say that. Yes. I'm not going to live without my Bemer.
All righty. Well, Carol, it's about time to wrap up here. Closing thoughts?
Closing thoughts. Go on YouTube. Research out at YouTube Bemer Malik, Malik. YouTube Bemer Race Horses, YouTube Bemer. So we have some of the best racehorse representatives in the world. YouTube Bemer, bike race. Look up a number of these things on YouTube and check my website out at drcarol.bemergroup.com.
Wait. Dr. Carol.
Uh-huh.
What next?
At Bemer Group, Group, bemergroup.com.
Okay.
That's how to find me. Can I give my phone number?
No, Dr. Carol, Bemer Group, that sounds like an email.
No, drcarol.bemergroup.com. That's the site you go on to find out more information.
Okay, now because usually whenever you have an at, I mean,
no ads, just dot.
Okay. Well, I'm going to fix it here.
Okay, I guess you can't read it.
Dot Bemer
Group.
Okay.
.com. No ats, just dots.
Okay.
You have to put it up in the upper bar.
Got it, the address bar. Okay. And your phone number if they want to call you?
352-209-7300. 352-209-7300.
We got it.
Okay.
It's in the chat. It'll be there forever, so people can see that.
Great.
And I'm gonna downsize you and come back here. And Dr. Carol, I want to say thank you for being with us tonight and sharing the Bemer Technology story. I think I want to probably talk to you the next couple of days and get a Bemer.
Yay! Good.
I'm thinking, gosh, yes, we need to get one of these things.
Uh-huh.
So anyway, we'll talk about that. But aside from that, Dr. Carol is just getting started with Business Breakthrough as well. And so we're excited to have you participating with our Business Breakthrough Ministry. And everyone else out there, if you've yet to participate with Business Breakthrough, there's no cost to it. We do believe that with what God's given us to present to you and provide prayer support for you, that you're going to be blessed and you're going to experience the increase. And because of the increase, you're going to help support the ministry. And God's given us a ministry here with a vision to see over 100 million people saved, discipled, and serving God. So let me just encourage you, check out the Business Breakthrough weekly schedule. And you can do that by going to DaveMartinMinistries.com or LivingSupernaturally.com. And you can learn more about the Business Breakthrough Ministry. And Dr. Carol, again, thank you. We've hit the magic hour here of 9 p.m. So we did a whole hour. You did a great job. I'm proud of you, Dr. Carol. And we'll be in touch. Everybody, thank you for the privilege given us tonight. Remember now, next Monday night, we have Charlotte Anderson. And it's going to be, she's with the Zig Ziglar Institute, not with them directly. She's a trained person by them. And but she's going to be sharing with us next Monday night how to be better at whatever we're doing. So until then, y'all have a great week, and we'll talk to you next Monday night. God bless.
God bless. Thank you, Dave.
You're welcome.
Mm-hmm.